Welcome back to All Chat, episode 29. We double checked this time. We know it's 29. I just got off a 2-hour plane ride. Had a work trip, got home, but we're back now. Quarterfinals finished. We're heading into semifinals. Let's talk about some league.
Oh yeah, let's talk about some league, Jack. Oh man, it's kind of an interesting quarterfinal, if I do say so myself. It was
Yeah,
entertaining.
definitely some more so than others.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely some more. Like I'd say the Hanwha Life BLG series that was pretty sick.
yeah,
The FlyQuest series,
pretty sick.
pretty sick.
I would say
Uh,
even the T1 series had some cool. But let's start from the top. Let's
yeah,
moment of silence for LNG going undefeated in Swiss just to get 3-1 curb stomped by Weibo, who are back to the semifinals looking to make a repeat run to the finals. Yeah, rest in peace to LNG.
yeah. RIP the fellas. It was a tough go. Weibo was just better on the day, so. Can't say they didn't try. It was a tough showing though, if I do say so myself.
I see that you're just immediately converted to a T1 fan now. Just day one, they're gone. All right, we're on the hype train. T1 all the way. My goats.
Yeah.
Faker. Yeah,
I mean, first ever League of Legends jersey.
sure,
So I had to go with
sure.
the OGs. Nothing to
Yeah,
do with the results of the quarterfinals. Nothing at
right.
all to
Yeah,
do with that.
Scout's dead to you. Yeah, it's yeah,
Yeah. Same with Viper.
yeah. I
uh,
do. I have to say though, I like this Worlds format a lot with the Swiss into the top eight situation.
mhm.
But if there's one thing that do kind of wish League had, it would be a lower bracket because it does feel bad to have LNG go 4-0 undefeated in games in Swiss and then have one bad series against Weibo. I mean, who knows if it's one bad series, right? That's the point of a lower bracket, would be to find
Mhm.
out if it was one bad series or if it was like they're actually just not that good. But
Yeah.
it does feel bad for them to go 4-0 and then lose a series 3-1 to Weibo and just be out of the tournament in one
Yeah.
series because they went 5 wins, 3 losses at the tournament. They had a positive record, but they
Mhm.
just had the losses at a bad time and they're out. So that feels a little bad.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at it from like a match perspective, right? They really went 3-1, right? But
Yeah.
the one that they lost was the pivotal one,
Yep.
obviously. And I agree. I think a lower bracket would be unreal, but
Yep.
at the same time, something about the allure of the winner you're out. It's kind of been the classic Worlds format,
Yeah.
for as long as I can remember, and I think that's pretty cool, but I do wish that there was a double elimination. I wish that there was a lower bracket because
Yeah.
MSI was unreal because of that, right? I think
Right.
MSI was really entertaining because of that lower bracket. It's
Yeah.
just, it's tough. It's tough. You can't have it all, I guess,
No.
because I
There's
feel like the
always going to
weight.
be there's always going to be format issues. People are always going to complain, but I do think at the end of the day, we're in a pretty good place with the format. It's gotten better. It's improved.
Mhm.
I like this significantly better than I liked the group format, where it was like 4 teams in a group and they played each other like 11 million times.
Yeah,
That's not as entertaining as the Swiss format. So I am happy with it. It's just rest in peace to LNG
yeah, and Hanwha Life.
and Hanwha.
But before we move on to Hanwha Life, I just want to say Weibo actually looks pretty decent.
Pretty decent.
I mean, I feel like we kind of got to do a little bit of a deep dive of our 4 remaining teams. And if we look at
Sure.
Weibo, they look really cohesive as a group right now. They seem to be playing with confidence. They did make Worlds Finals last year.
They're,
So
they're
what a
just
story it would be.
they're en route to just run it back. That would be so crazy if they run it back, right?
Yeah.
Because no one expected them to make World Finals last year. They didn't even feel like the second best team at the tournament last year. I have to say that was kind of a lucky run from them to even make finals last year.
Hmm.
But if they make it again this year, that's pretty insane, right?
Yeah. I mean, if they make it again this year, you kind of got to look at, okay, maybe they are legit. Maybe these guys
Yeah,
are just, maybe they're the T1 of the LPL where they just get a world's buff.
could
Who
be.
knows? But
Yeah,
I mean, you look at them and they're the fourth seed out of the LPL, right?
third seed, fourth seed.
Right. I think they're the fourth seed.
Fourth?
Yeah,
Okay. I'll take your word
yeah,
for
because
it.
it was BLG and then top esports on tournament
You're
points,
right. And then
I
LNG
think,
and then Weibo.
and
I
then
think you're right.
Weibo.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so like they could have easily just been replaced by a team like JDG, right?
Yeah.
Who most people probably expected to make worlds. So
Hmm.
the fact that they're here, the fact that they're beating a stronger domestic team in LNG, and now they get a rematch with BLG just like last year in the World Semis. You never know. You never know. That's the one thing that I've learned at this Worlds is you really never know what could
Yeah.
happen.
This is a run back though, right? Because they like you said, they played BLG in semis at Worlds last year and they beat them.
Mm-hmm.
It was a what was it? A 3-1, 3-2?
It was a I think it was a 3-2,
I think
I
that's
believe.
right.
Yeah. I remember the
Don't quote me.
Shy played like he played like a Quinn top.
That sounds right.
I think there was a Canon game in there as well for the Shy, but
Probably.
regardless, it was I don't remember too much of it honestly.
Yeah.
Uh, but Weibo won, and they get to run it back against arguably, or not arguably, much stronger BLG team this year.
Argue Billy
Billy
Gaming.
Gaming, yeah, yeah. That was an entertaining series versus Ottawa.
Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, I did not expect them to win that. I really thought Hanwha was taking that one.
I
I think
think,
we talked about it last week
yeah,
or whenever it was, 2 weeks ago or whatever. And we predicted LNG and HLE, and we were
mhm.
wrong both times.
Yeah,
So
I think we weren't wrong in predicting those two teams to win. I feel like maybe we're a little wrong in underestimating BLG.
yeah,
I think it's hard to argue against the number one LPL seed in both splits. Team that's made an MSI final this year as well.
they
So
just didn't look that great in Swiss.
exactly, yeah, and Hanwha Life looked sick,
Yeah,
and it goes both ways. Same with LNG and Weibo, right? Like it's hard to root against the team that's 4-0 going into this series,
it
right? So
is.
hard to root against Hanwha Life, who didn't have to go into the 1 and 2 bracket, work their way back up, right? So, but we probably shouldn't have underestimated BLG that much because they looked on form. They looked like themselves again, and I think the the route that they took to get to quarterfinals is something that improved their games or
Yeah.
their play a lot.
Man, they're still doing this jungler thing though, which makes me nervous. You know, like
It's
they switched back to Weiwei to Wei.
to Wei, but then
Yeah.
they finished with Shun.
Oh right. Yeah. Yeah. No, they
Yeah.
played Wei in the group stage, and then
Hmm.
they switched back to Shun. Right.
Yeah, and Shun's been the one playing. I'm pretty sure
Yeah,
he played the whole Hanwha Life series.
I think that's right. Yeah, but
Yeah.
like doing this switch situation, it makes me nervous.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean
I
there's a
don't
lot of
trust it.
factors that
Yeah.
definitely went against BLG finding success against Hanwha Life.
Yeah.
But they proved us all wrong. They showed us why they were the best team in China all year.
I guess.
Yeah.
I guess they're just that good.
Yeah, I don't know though. I'm still like a little hesitant to be like, oh yeah, these guys are sick.
You know what I
But
mean?
yeah, yeah,
I
you
mean,
know it.
so the HLE BLG series was Korea 1 versus China 1.
Yeah,
But like that should like the fact that BLG 3-1 the Korea 1 seed should be like, "Oh, these guys are sick."
yeah,
It doesn't feel that way. I'm not
yeah,
sold.
yeah. I mean, like, okay, yeah, Bin's gonna smash Dorn every time. So like, what can
Right.
you do as Hona Life,
Yeah.
right? And even Zeka is Loki getting gapped by Knight throughout that entire series.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know. It's hard to like feel confident about them. The only reason why I could feel confident is because they are playing Weibo Gaming.
Yeah.
You know?
Did you see all the stuff about Doran after the HLE series where like on there's that one site where Chinese fans like rate the players
Uh
after the
huh.
game.
The
I don't remember.
Hoopu.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Did you see the Doran rating? They rated it, I think he was like a 9.9 or something. They were like, "Thank you, Doran." Like,
Best
thank you like
player. Best player
yeah,
for
yeah.
BLG type
Thank you
deal.
for getting us to semis basically. I was like, "Damn,
Oh,
that's a little brutal."
that is a little brutal, but he did kind of get cooked. I'm not gonna lie,
Yeah.
but you know, gotta feel for the guy as well. I mean,
Man, it's tough. The whole like Doran being a liability thing really reared its head in that match.
yeah,
I
and
don't
the
know.
whole Peanuts World's choker
Yeah.
narrative
Yeah.
also wasn't the best look.
I'm not really on the Doran hate train, but I do have to say he looked like the weak link in that
Yeah,
series. Like
yeah,
it's hard to deny the fact that he got gapped.
yeah. And I understand you're going against Bin, but
But like,
hold your own a little bit
come on,
more.
man.
I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
Dorn's one of those rare cases where it's like he somehow finds his way on these top teams, and he's year after year kind of been a liability. But
Yeah.
again, I don't want to be like, first one on the Dorn hate train here.
Oh, you
But
wouldn't be the first.
yeah,
That spot has been claimed years ago.
yeah. I don't want to get on there because you don't
No.
want to flame these guys too much.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a tough showing for him.
So we got BLG versus Weibo in semis, the domestic run back. Uh, do you want to talk about that matchup, or you want to talk about our last two quarterfinals and then talk about all the semifinals at the same time?
Why don't we talk about that matchup really quick? I
Yeah.
mean, I'm expecting BLG to win. I think we're at the point where anyone can beat anyone on any
Yeah.
given day. I think both semifinals are going to be complete toss-ups. Maybe less so for BLG Weibo. I definitely lean more towards BLG, but at the same time, with how Weibo's been playing, it's kind of anyone's game.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I think on paper BLG should win. But when I look at these teams, Weibo is looking more solid, and I'm super sketched out by BLG. I don't trust this jungler situation, and I don't trust how they played in Swiss. So it's like I still kind of want to predict BLG, but I wouldn't be surprised if Weibo took. Like I would not be surprised if we saw Weibo in Worlds Finals again,
Yeah,
which feels insane to say. But
yeah. Well, it was
I,
like a running joke for us. Like, oh, imagine if Weibo made it back to World's
yeah,
Finals.
Weibo FlyQuest in the World's Finals. Imagine, right?
Imagine. Yeah, it could have easily happened. Well, maybe not easily.
Maybe not easily, but
It could have happened.
it
It
could have
definitely
happened.
could have happened. And the fact that Weibo's here, like I said, is it Weibo? Do they have a world's buff where they're just nasty? Is BLG like, are they just international chokers? Because they also have that same kind of stigma around them as
A little
not
bit.
being able to get over the hump. They're in JDG shadow. They've always seemed to beat Gen G, but then get kind of smoked out of playoffs.
Yeah,
At least that's what it's felt like in the past few years.
yeah,
They came up short at MSI. It's like, I don't know. Something about this team is on paper the most stacked roster to come out of the LPL by far, no
sure.
question about it. But current play, current form, exactly.
Hard to say.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna lean more towards BLG though, because the second that I started downing them, they came out and wiped Hanwha Life.
Yeah.
And so I'm starting to think that maybe they found their groove.
No, I respect that. I
Yeah.
respect the BLG prediction. Do you want to hit me with a game score, a match score? I mean, do you want
You
to hit me
know,
with the?
let's I'm gonna go straight by my heart right now.
Yeah, hit me
So
heart of the card situation. Yeah.
I want to see this match go into Silver Scrapes. I want to see some type of five
Yes,
game
dude.
banger,
Yes.
because I'm waking up to watch it, and so I'm waking
Yes.
up. I got to see this entire match. I'm getting all the League of Legends that I'm waking up for.
Yep.
So let's just go 3-2 BLG then.
Dude, I'm on board. Honestly, what I would love to see is just BLG and Weibo getting down and dirty. Like I want to see a
Yeah.
bloodbath.
60
man.
kill games
Yeah.
every game, just like
Yeah. Just
I
like
don't care. I don't
the
care. Just
highest level degenerate League of Legends
yeah.
you've ever seen. Like
Yeah.
both teams like peaking at best, but at the same time, it feels like degenerate, like perma 5v5 scrapping, just like down and dirty, bloody LPL team fighting.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
I want to see a
That's what I
double
need.
ace. I need to see a pentakill.
Yes, double pentakill, double
yeah.
ace. Like,
Yeah.
yes.
Give it all. Give it all to us.
Give me I want it to be a content series. Give me the content. Yeah,
100%.
I'm on board with that.
As long as we get something along those lines, I'll be happy.
Yeah.
Realistically, it could be a 3-0 for BLG. I mean, kind of feels like that's how it's gone within the LPL. BLG just kind of stomps everybody.
A little bit.
But Worlds is a different game. Worlds is a completely different game. So a little bit more up in the air.
Yeah.
But I do think it's interesting how we have LPL on one side and LCK on the other.
Hey, it makes the finals really interesting.
Yeah.
We're gonna get some like region kills and semis, but you want to see LPL LCK finals at this tournament.
100%, 100%, especially for the final. Like last year's cool seeing JDG T1, but we all knew that was the final after obviously BLG had lost. Do we want to get into the other quarterfinal matches?
Let's do it. Let's rip it.
Yeah, we had T1 3-0ing top esports. I didn't have that.
No.
I mean, I think maybe like we did kind of predict that, but like it was more like a jokey prediction,
it was like kind of a joke and kind of a soul read at the same time. It was kind of like, oh, it's not going to happen, but at the same time we're like, there's like a pretty realistic world where T1 comes in and just 3-0s TES.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So it was one of those like we're just hedging what we're saying,
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it could be close, but it could also be a T1 3-0. But if that doesn't happen.
I didn't wake up in time for that series, so I woke up and checked the score. And before I clicked on it, I was like, what am I going to see here? And I was like, I kind of feel like it's going to be close. And then I clicked it and I saw the 3-0 and I was like, yeah, that seems about right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I just hopped on Twitter. I think I hopped on after their second game and everyone was just like, top esports just got fucking goose egged, like no kills.
So I went back,
I
went back and I watched that whole series.
Yeah.
Dude, T1, what happens to them at World? This is a different team than LCK playoffs.
It's crazy.
Keria looks like the best player in the world again.
Yeah.
You can't change my mind on this. This guy was cracked out of his mind in that series.
Mm-hmm.
Like easily best player in the series. He was his recon was insane. This guy was
taught me some new things about else. Pyke for sure.
Yeah.
After seeing
that,
my
God,
too.
His Pyke game was nuts.
Yeah, like one, it was kind of a content game, but he also looked nasty on the pig. Like he came up being pretty well known for his Pyke, but to see it back in action on the biggest stage, unreal.
Dude, bro just casually whipped out the Bard too. I was waiting for when it was going to happen. I was like, we're going to get a Bard. Like, it wouldn't be a World Championships at this point if we didn't see a random ass Bard get picked. And I was like, just when is it going to happen? Just game one, Bard. Like,
yeah. Oh yeah. And Guma, I think Guma looks nasty too.
Yeah.
Like honestly, the whole team looks really good. Faker's found his stride again. Thank goodness. Like,
thank God.
It's kind of tough when that team is a 5-headed monster. It's tough when all the pieces are going. I feel like Owner's usually the one that's like he's specifically got a Worlds buff.
Yeah.
And then Zeus. What else can you say about Zeus? He's just a young stud.
Dude, Owner is like Mr. Consistency at Worlds. It's I don't know what happens, but World shows up and he's like, all right, it's me, dude.
Yeah. I'm back where I belong. And
we're so back.
Yeah. I think T1 against top esports. I was jumping the gun a little bit, moving on to the semis, but T1 looked really dominant against top esports. And I'm really nervous for their opponents. Because their opponents did not look as strong in their quarterfinal, to say the least.
Let's talk Genji Fly. Wow. Make them believe, bro.
Dude, the amount of people that I was getting texts from, like, yo, flies up 2-1, flies up 2-1. I was getting
They're
texts from
doing it.
random people that just knew that I follow League of Legends. They're like, yo, FlyQuest 2-1 right now.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, y'all seeing this too, right? And then obviously what happened happened, but
Yeah.
one can only dream of something like that happening one day.
That was, oh man. I mean, heartbreak,
Yeah.
obviously. Like the
Yeah.
fact that because they really did get rolled in games 4 and 5. Like
Mhm.
that was kind of how I expected the series to go.
Yeah.
But those first 3 games, man, like
Unreal.
and the
Unreal.
fact that this was after they like so nearly could have taken Hanwha Life too. You
Mhm.
know, like after that Hanwha Life series where they lost 2-1,
Yeah.
but it was super close to just being a 2-0 for FlyQuest over
Mhm.
Hanwha, and then
Yeah.
to back to back or not back to back, but like to go from that into this Genji 3-2, like taking the top 2 seeds from Korea to max games in their series.
Got to hold your heads up high for sure.
Respect.
Yeah. I mean, just being up 2-1, being on match point against Gen G of all
Yeah.
team, that would have been by far the biggest upset in League of Legends. I mean, League of Legends
History.
history. Yeah.
Probably. Yeah.
Right. I mean, given the context of
Yeah.
what Gen G did this year and where FlyQuest is coming from this year as
Yeah.
well, it's crazy that we even got to match point. Shout out all the FlyQuest boys. I mean, Masu, Masu,
My
man.
goat, dude.
Wow. What a
What a
choice.
rookie year.
Yeah.
Are
Oh
you
my
kidding
gosh.
me?
Yeah. Yeah.
He's a rookie.
Yeah.
What do you even mean?
Yeah. This kid's like what, 18, 17, 18? Like,
Something like, bro, their bot lane is Masu Busio.
yeah.
Like, these guys are fresh out of NACL.
Yeah. And
Come on.
I didn't realize that Quad played with Chovy and
Yeah.
Deft for DRX back in the day. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, he rode the pine, but that's crazy that there's a little bit of history to there as well. But my goodness, what a series from everyone. And it was exciting going into that final game with the pocket picks, with the fiddlesticks jungle,
Yeah.
right? It could have easily gone FlyQuest way, but maybe next year's going to be their time. I hope they run it back
Oh, me too.
because this is an exciting roster, and I was always kind of more on the TL side,
Me too.
but FlyQuest is, it's hard not to root for those guys after seeing what they've accomplished.
Yeah. Okay. 2 things come up for me from that. One is that it makes me really excited to see FlyQuest next year. I think
Mhm.
this whole FlyQuest TL rivalry and also just like the damage that I feel like these 2 teams could have done and also did at
Yeah.
international events this year, super cool. I mean, I know FlyQuest like kind of got destroyed at MSI, but they like really proved themselves at Worlds. And then
Yeah.
TL, I thought really proved themselves at MSI and maybe like didn't play quite up to expectations at Worlds, but
Mhm.
still had like, even against like LNG at the start of the tournament, it felt like they had some semblance of control over the game for a lot of it. So
Yeah.
I don't know. The TL FlyQuest situation, I'm really excited about. The other
Mhm.
thing that it brings up for me, I don't think TL would have taken 2 games off of Gen G. I
Oh,
think there's
yeah.
something about FlyQuest preparation and the way that they're choosing to play the game where they're really playing to their own strengths
Mhm.
is completely unique to them right now. And I
Yeah.
think that's the reason they took 2 games. And I think TL would have gotten 3-0'd.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I can agree. I think I agree fully with that statement actually, because
Yeah.
seeing some of the kind of mental mistakes and mechanical mistakes that TL was making, it felt like FlyQuest really was playing with like no weight on their shoulders. It felt
Yeah.
like they were really just going out there and full sending it. I remember was it game? I think it was game one. I forget what Bwipo was playing, but he was literally just flashing into every single play. He's just flashing on pays. I think
Yeah.
it's playing Galio
I think
top,
so.
and he was just flashing into everything, setting up team fights, and like that's what we kind of know Bwipo as, kind of like this. He's gonna do his own thing, but he's gonna set something up for your team, right? Or he's
Yeah.
gonna like try to go for some crazy solo kill, whatever. He's gonna play a little bit less standard than your typical top laner. But it's just really fun seeing all these guys kind of coming to their own, like Masu playing all these hyper carry ADC picks and like excelling so well on them.
Is it crazy to say that his Kaisa is world class?
I don't think it's crazy after this tournament,
Right? Like
right?
his
I mean,
Kaisa was nice with it.
yeah, it's one thing to do it domestically, right?
Yeah.
It's one thing to do it against playing teams or non,
Yep.
whatever. But against Pays and Lehens, against Gen G of all teams, I mean,
Credit where credit is due.
yeah, I think he was like 9-0-1 at one point,
Yeah.
going like halfway through their game 3, and then quad started to pop off.
Yep.
It's like FlyQuest has the pieces. They clearly have the pieces
Mm-hmm.
to do damage. And they also have the mindset to not kind of, I think the whole boot camp situation, not scrimming the Asian teams, not really letting the cat out of the bag of what their strategies are, really, really, really benefited them in
Yeah.
the long run at this Worlds. And it's something that I think a lot of these Western teams are going to start implementing.
I hope so. If there's one thing that I hope that Western teams take from this tournament,
Mm-hmm.
it's play like FlyQuest.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can't think of a better example of why you should do what they do. This is not the first time that this has come up, because this has come up with G2 in the past. And
Mm-hmm.
even to some extent, like, I don't know if you remember the Misfits series versus T1. I think it was it was a long time ago, 2017 maybe.
Uh-huh.
But there was a Misfits series versus T1 where it was Ignar and Hans Sama in the bot lane for Misfits versus I don't remember who the T1 bot lane is. It might have been Bang and Wolf.
Uh-huh.
But they solo killed them bot with Fervor of Battle, Ignite Leona.
Uh-huh.
And Ignar just got in there and just like messed them up. And
Yeah.
they took SKT to full games.
Oh, wow.
And it's like there's been little glimpses of this like same FlyQuest G2 Misfits like type situation in the past where Western teams have kind of picked their own meta, played to their strengths, and either won with it or like taken other top teams to
Exceeded
max
expectations.
Exceeded expectations.
Yeah.
And I just really hope that this is a wake up call. I don't trust that it will be, but I really hope that it is a wake up call to other Western teams to play their game.
Yeah.
Not get trapped in the, Korea and China are playing it, so it must be good, but instead play what you think is good and be really good at what you think is good and catch people off guard with it. I don't know. I was just really stoked to see like Nunu, Amumu, Fiddlesticks, Seraphine.
Yeah.
Like all these. I mean, they took 2 games.
Yeah.
Like, what more can you ask? I mean, you could ask for a series win, I guess, but like, what more could you ask for realistically? You know?
No, 100%. I think that type of preparation, these off meta champs that, a Genji has never played against in the last 2 years, right?
Yeah.
Something like that. It's something that can throw teams off. That it goes back to like Mad Lions. Like that's kind of what I was hoping that they would do, and that's something that they've really implemented, and that's something that they found success with. So
Yeah.
hey, maybe LPL and LCK aren't the ones setting the meta, and everyone else needs to be 2 steps behind, catching up. Maybe there is some worth in creating your own style and your own meta, and playing stuff that's a little outside of the box just to find a dub. Because I mean, at the end of the day, all they care about is who wins the match, right?
Yeah.
So do it however you can, and I think finding your own way to do it has been something that the West has been a little behind on. And like you said, we've seen glimpses of it throughout the years. But it's been a while since we've seen a team with this much confidence trying to pull things off.
Yeah.
So
inspiring, if you will.
Yeah. That's the first time we've ever used that one on this pod.
That really, they turned some heads. I think.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the important thing.
That is the important thing. Yeah, turning heads, that's all we care about on this pod.
It is.
So as long as a team turns some heads, they got the green light in our book.
That's the highest honor you can achieve on the All Chat podcast is
exactly
your team turning heads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you think about T1 Gen G then?
How do you predict this series now?
Oh, like T1 looks insane. They look like
Yeah.
they're on a different. Well, they look like they're on Worlds winning form, right? They
Yes.
look like they have every year for the last two Worlds,
Yeah.
basically. Um, but they're literally sunned by Genji. You
Yes.
know,
Big
like
time.
Genji. I don't think. I think Genji has like a 50 something percent stake in T1 because they just own them so much. Like it's crazy how much these guys have beaten them
Yep.
recently in domestic splits. I don't know. I really don't know at this point. I
Have you
think
have you seen the Chovy versus Faker head-to-head statistic?
isn't it like
I
somewhat equal, but a lot more Chovy favored in the last couple years?
I think they're literally like 50% win rate each. I
Yeah,
think that it's either they're exactly the same or it's different by one game.
yeah,
But in the most recent years, it's like heavily Chovy favored.
yeah. I think you're right. I think it's like 50% or something, just even split. But like
Yeah.
Faker's won maybe 3 out of the last 15. You
Yeah.
know?
It's something crazy. It's like Chovy really it's super Chovy favored in the last
Yeah,
like 3 years or something like that. So
yeah. So this is where we really got to start putting our minds into it because realistically, this could go either way.
yeah,
What's bigger, the Genji owning T1 buff, or the T1 Worlds buff? Is it the Chovy choking? Like what's gonna be the storyline at the end of the series?
good question.
Right? I think there's really no way to predict it.
It's like Gen G Golden Road team this year until they lost to Hanwha, but like they've lost like 3 series the whole year,
Yeah.
and they've owned T1 the whole year, and T1 looks really bad coming into Worlds. They almost didn't even qualify. It was one game versus KT.
Mm-hmm.
They took KT to 5 games in the gauntlet or whatever to qualify for Worlds. But now like they only dropped one game in Swiss, and they absolutely curb stomped 3-0 TES in
Yeah.
like insanely dominant fashion.
Yeah. Where do you weigh them? It's crazy.
I don't know.
I don't know either. I think that these might be our two strongest teams left in the tournament.
Yeah, you want to get
That's
into that
that's
because
one
we
thing
talked
I
about this a
can.
little bit.
Yeah, I think that's one thing I can kind of back is whoever wins this series most likely wins Worlds.
I think so.
To me, this script is very similar to 2023, where
Hmm.
you have T1 who faltered throughout the year, got owned by Genji the whole year, didn't win a domestic split, come into Worlds, smoke a Chinese team, and then beat the Golden Road favorite in the semifinal, and then play Weibo Gaming in the final. Like
Crazy,
if that happens, it's literally just a run it back
crazy.
from 2023.
Wow, script writers are getting so giga lazy, dude.
Yeah, right?
You
Like
kidding me?
tell me that this is not the exact same script. We even got the same teams except for one, because you need the Golden Road favorite in there.
Right. Yeah.
So
Fills the same role.
exactly. So
Yeah.
is it just a T1 dub, or is it the year that Chovy,
Finally.
Hayes, Lehens, Keen reach a Worlds final and continue their dominance over T1? Because that's also the over. Like, there's so many storylines to look at. It's literally impossible to figure out which direction the series is going to go.
Yeah. I think the one thing that we had talked about a little bit before this is I think we kind of agreed on this. If T1 beats Gen G, they also win Worlds.
Mm-hmm.
If Gen G beats T1, they could lose to BLG in the finals,
Yeah.
but they would beat Weibo for sure.
Yeah.
And they're not for sure losing to BLG. They just could lose to BLG.
Yeah. I'd give it
So
like 75-25 odds,
I
you
might give
know?
it like 65-35 or something. I think
Okay.
it's a little closer than that.
Yeah.
I
It's
mean, we haven't even seen the semifinals play, so like,
exactly.
what am I even saying? I don't
Yeah.
know, but yeah,
Yeah.
I think if T1 beats Genji, they win Worlds.
Yeah.
If Genji wins,
They don't necessarily lock a Worlds win.
right,
It's They most likely win, but they could easily or just as easily lose
Yeah,
to BLG. Well, okay. There's another layer to that. If BLG wins against Weibo, then Genji could lose.
yeah,
Let's just say, okay, if we power rank the teams, basically T1 has like no, like if they win their semifinal, there's no chance that they lose
I think
Worlds.
so.
Genji and BLG, if they make Worlds finals, there's a chance that they lose. Weibo probably loses in semifinals, but if they win and make it to finals, they're gonna lose.
I think that's right. I think
Yeah.
that's right. Yeah,
Okay.
I think I don't have a lot of. I don't see Weibo winning Worlds. I think it's impressive that they've made top 4. I think it'd be even more impressive if they make top 2. But for some reason, it's just like doesn't seem like it's going to happen that they would ever actually win.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But who knows?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, it's all up in the air. It's all up in the air at this point.
Honestly, what I want to see is I want to see a run back of last year's script. I think that's too funny. I think that's too
Imagine,
funny to not happen.
right?
T1 beats Gen G. Weibo
Weibo
beats
upsets.
BLG,
Yeah.
and then T1 just curb stomp
Yeah.
Weibo in the finals.
Imagine.
God, that's like
No.
kind of a nightmare, but also really funny.
Yeah. Like I'd love to see it, but I'd also hate to see it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially because you're going to World's Finals, or so I just found out.
Yeah, I am. I am gonna be making my way out to the O2 in London next week.
Crazy.
Yeah, yeah. It all came together pretty last minute. It was always in the works, but the logistics of it all kind of came together last minute. But I'm
Yeah, yeah,
geeked.
yeah.
I'm pretty excited to head on out there.
Well, I hope for your sake that you get a series as good as DRX versus T1 in 2022 when I went.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, it's gonna be pretty hard to top that one. You've got I think, arguably one of the best Worlds Finals of all time
yep,
under your belt, but
yep.
hopefully we can get something half as good as that, and I'll be happy.
Yeah. Man, that would be crazy. If T1 makes this World Finals, that's back to back to back World Finals
Yeah,
for this
I mean,
same roster.
that's pretty impressive with the potential, with the likelihood of going to 2 for 3, which that's also impressive in its own right.
Yeah. That's like a T1 dynasty situation again,
Yeah.
you know?
And it's crazy because of how much more talent has come through into the League of Legends, esports scene, right?
Yep.
Like back when T1 was winning and they're smoking everybody, China wasn't nearly as good. EU was decent but not as good. NA was also decent but, not as good as they are today as well. It's like the amount of growth that League of Legends as a whole has kind of gone through, and yet here we are with T1 making three, potentially making 3 finals in a row.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And is it because of Faker or is it because T1's just them? I'm not sure.
Dude, form is temporary, faker is forever.
Yeah,
That's realistically it's a faker diff.
yeah,
I don't know what it is, man. This guy is never beating the goat allegations.
yeah,
Yeah, it's impossible.
yeah.
He's just like he heard Chovy like nipping at his heels and like starting to get on the come up, and he's like, I gotta show everyone how I'm gonna be the goat for 10 plus years.
Yeah.
Like,
Let me just
I
win
don't
a
know.
couple more worlds really quick to seal the deal.
Yeah,
He's just pulling a Tom Brady right now.
straight up.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
But
he's like, no one's touching this. Like, good luck, everyone else.
yeah, you get out of my way, and I'll see you guys at the finish line.
Yeah,
Is Faker's mo.
yeah,
But regardless, I think we're gonna have some pretty sick matchups. I don't even want to predict Genji versus T1. I
yeah. But I'm
think.
gonna make you do it anyways. So
Ah,
it's what we do here.
I think I have to go.
What do you have to go? Give it to me.
I think I have to go, dude. I have to go.
I have to leave.
Yeah.
I can't do it. I just
Dude,
have to go.
this is so hard to predict. Like,
You
there's
you want
too
me to
many.
go first?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Give it to
Uh,
me.
I'm hitting you with another like soul read
Mm.
situation. T1-3-1.
T1-3-1.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think they overcome their domestic demons. I think after that TES series, they're just back in World Championship form, and they show Genji who's boss, and Genji chokes a little, and it's a T1-3-1 goes to World Finals.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, see, I can't even disagree with that, but I can disagree with it.
You
So
can.
I'm gonna go with, I'm gonna go for the controversial here. I'm gonna go 3-0 Genji.
I like it. I
Yeah.
like it. It's so like real, so possible, you know?
Yeah. You know,
Yeah.
three super close games, and Genji just takes all of them.
Yeah.
And if I'm wrong, then it was already a long shot prediction.
Yeah.
And if
But you
I'm
know what?
wrong, that means we get more games. So
True.
yeah,
If Genji 3-0 T1, then FlyQuest better than T1 confirmed.
yeah, that's
So
true. That's
it's
true.
honestly a win-win.
It's yeah.
It's an
There's honestly
unlosable
no
situation.
L's. Yeah, because I'm
No.
also happy with T1 just outright winning.
Yeah.
So
If T1 doesn't take at least 2 games off of Genji, FlyQuest is just better.
yeah,
I mean, the numbers don't lie.
they don't.
You
They
know?
really don't. And so that means PSG is also just the second best team.
I think so.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
PSG beat FlyQuest at MSI.
Right. So
Yeah,
by default, PSG, second best team in the world, they got robbed.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
tough.
It is tough.
But it also means that Mad Koi is also is actually the second because
They're
they beat
actually the GOATs. Yeah.
right. Didn't they beat PSG at this play-ins?
Uh-huh. Yeah,
Yeah,
they beat him.
okay.
They beat him this year. Yeah, or
Yeah.
this Worlds. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, regardless, we're getting bangers, and that's all
Yeah.
you can ask for at this time of year.
Yep.
Oh, do you want to hit on some of these roster moves really quick? Because
was
there's
just
been
about to
some
ask.
crazy roster moves.
Yeah, we were talking about Mad Koi a little bit, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Huh, do you want to talk about some Mad Koi
Oh
situation
yeah,
real quick?"
yeah. I was wondering why Mad Koi is even in my mind, but
Yeah, they're on the news.
yeah,
Little
we're a little late on the news.
little bit,
A little late, yeah.
but
See what I did there? Because anyways, yeah. Caps is joining Mad Koi.
Caps is going to Mad Koi. No, some
Jovi
little sheep on Twitter have been informing me that we have a Canadian man that is heading over to Europe to play on an all Spanish League of Legends roster, minus himself.
Yeah,
And that
he
he's going
happens to be Canadian Korean.
right.
So
Yeah,
he fits
JoJo.
right in. Yeah, that's
JoJo
crazy.
Pyun heading over to Mad Koi. By default, is he just second best mid laner in Europe after
I
Caps?
see. I don't know because he kind of looked domestically, like at least when it mattered.
Yeah,
I don't know if that was River really just like, or 100 Thieves really just like, let's get on to JoJo.
I think that was more of a Cloud9 situation than it was a JoJo situation.
I think it's hard to deny that he's still a talented player.
Yeah. I think he goes to Europe and is just instantly the second best mid after
You
Caps.
think so?
I don't think he's better than Caps, but I think he's immediately slots in number 2 after Caps.
I'm trying to think
Maybe
of
I'm
who else is there. You got like Humanoid. Vithio.
Vithio might not be playing. He might be out.
Okay.
Who else? I mean, Niski apparently is out. Niski, there's rumors that he's coming back to NA.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. There's some like Niski to Shopify rebellion rumors.
Really?
With like a Niski contracts fudge topside on Shopify.
Wait,
kind of sounds interesting.
I thought they were keeping what's his face?
Insanity.
Yeah.
It's a rumor. I don't know.
Okay.
It's like less confirmed than the other stuff, but people have been talking about it a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, JoJo to LEC, JoJo to Mad Koi.
Yeah.
I'll say he's a top 3 mid laner, but I feel like
Okay.
there's probably some names out there with like some of these like prospects and rookies that are coming up next year who might surprise.
You think so?
Who's
I don't know. I
yeah,
don't know if I
I
buy it.
don't.
I think JoJo's that good.
You think so?
I do. I think
Did you
JoJo's
hear
kind
about
of good.
the guy who's Carmine Corp's bot
Oh,
laner, their ADC? Yeah,
Calliste, Callis.
Caliste,
I actually
Calist.
don't know how to pronounce it.
Cal- Me neither.
Caliste. That guy.
Yeah, probably
Yeah,
Caliste
probably.
or
Yeah, that guy is
Caliste
like Carmine Corp through and through, like bleeds blue. He's been like in the Carmine Corp like
ecosystem.
ecosystem. I think like his entire
The
he
farm.
the reason he didn't play last year is because he was too young, but they wanted to play him
Oh,
last year.
okay.
But he's like the most hyped player to come out of tier two, at least, or tier two Europe in a long time. So
Well, did you hear that G2? Well, I don't know how true this is, but they were willing to trade Yike, Hansama, Mickey
yeah, all three.
for this one guy.
Yeah, yeah, I
So
did. I
I don't
heard
know.
that.
Like I feel like I've seen a lot of drama and stuff with a lot of these prospects being called up and joining some of these LEC teams.
Yeah,
Who knows? Some of them might be kind of nasty. But again, JoJo has the experience. He's won a title before. He's played at Worlds, MSI before.
yep.
I think he's gonna slot in and be just fine. The only thing that I worry about is he's the import now, which is probably like it's probably a crazy feeling being the only one that can't speak the language, but they all speak English. Like that's not
Yeah,
gonna be a problem.
yeah.
It's really more like how's he gonna
Culture
adjust to
fit,
life in
probably.
Europe? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a
So
first though. It's the first time that a
NA player.
major player from North America has gone to Europe.
Oh wow. Yeah, I guess it
Yeah,
is normally the other way around.
yeah. It's actually the first. I mean, I think the only other time that's happened is Destiny, the support player. He played
Uh huh.
in, but he came over from Europe to play in North America and then went back. But I think he
Okay.
like never played in LEC. He played like tier two and
Hmm.
then came to
Like made a
North
name for
America and then
himself
went
in
back.
NA. Yeah.
Yeah, but like that kind of counts. But like this is the first time that like big name North American player goes to play in Europe.
Yeah.
So it's really, I mean, super sad to see JoJo go. I understand why he left because he's not getting onto Fly or TL or
Hmm.
C9,
Yeah.
and you have to be on one of those three teams to
Have a
compete.
shot. And he's not even
Yeah.
100 Thieves. Like he's
No,
not
he's not
getting
going
on
to get on
100
100 Thieves
Thieves.
either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what are his options, right?
Right. So he pretty much has to go somewhere else. So I get why
Yeah.
he left,
Yeah.
but it is a bit sad, a bit rest in
Yeah.
peace.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I mean, honestly though, I think Mad Lions stonks kind of go up,
Kind
right?
of
I
up.
mean, Frescali was arguably their weak link on
I
that
think
team.
so. Yeah.
So slotting JoJo in right there is, can't complain. Are there any what were some of the other moves? I guess Mickey and Hans, or not Mickey and Hans, but Mickey and Yike we talked about a little bit.
Yeah,
Um
Mickey, I don't know if he's confirmed anywhere, but Yike is theoretically confirmed at KC as well.
oh wow.
So
Okay.
yeah, that's that team looks pretty interesting.
Yeah,
I'm
so
pretty
they
hyped
got
on it.
they re-signed Kana, so
They
it's Kana
re-signed Kana.
Yike.
Yeah,
Uh who they
mid
got?
laner is someone,
Someone. And then
and then and
Caliste
Targamas
and Targamas. Okay.
and Targamas and Kalist have played together
Okay.
in the tier two. So
Okay.
they like won tier two together playing, I think.
Together.
So they've played together. So
Okay.
that looks like an interesting team to follow.
Yeah. Well, they definitely had the hype coming into this year.
Yep.
Maybe didn't meet the hype as well
Maybe
as
not.
one had hoped or they had hoped, but
Yeah.
maybe next year's their year.
Maybe.
I don't know. I don't know.
Oh, and the only other one, new G2 roster is theoretically confirmed.
Mm, yeah.
Skewmond coming in the jungle. He's a rookie, but like a
Yeah.
very hyped rookie
Yeah.
prospect. And then Labrov coming
Yeah.
in support
Yeah. You're
from
right.
BDS.
Yeah. LeBron,
Yeah,
that was a pretty big move
that's a
for
pretty big move.
G2. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think LeBron is actually one of the more underrated supports in LEC. Maybe I can't say the world because not much to work with there, but
yeah,
uh, I thought he was pretty solid in the LEC. I mean, he made Ice look really good.
Yep.
Not that Ice is a bad player by any means, but
Sure.
G2 really just needed, change of scenery, I think. And
Yeah.
that's what they're getting. It's not necessarily a rebuild either. They're
Yeah,
still in
because
win
they're keeping
now.
3 of 5.
Yeah, but they are going to have to try to mentor this rookie jungler. So it's probably going to be kind of like a Damwon situation potentially. Like
Mm,
a very very vetted kind of roster in uh, top mid bot, and then a rookie jungler.
yeah.
Um, but I like that move a lot. I like both those moves for G2 because something had to be done, right? I
Yeah.
mean, there's no denying that. The team looked amazing domestically, but 8 LEC titles versus no quarterfinals. It's kind of
Kind of tough.
kind of tough, So
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's crazy that there's all these moves already happening too with the LEC and LCS. There's even I've heard some rumors for some LPL teams as well about
Oh,
what's going
really?
on. Yeah, like I've heard some pretty big names, maybe some returns of some former world champion players who are fan favorites of a lot of people potentially.
I've heard that there's going to be one roster that I think what Doinby leaked this or something that like one roster is going to be really hype. But
It
isn't there
was
some rumor that like the Shy and Doinby are both going to one roster next year?
yeah. I think it was Allah actually from EDG.
Oh, I
He
think
went
you're
up.
right.
It was like he went on Weibo or something and said, "Oh yeah." He said like this something. There's gonna be a really hyped roster. There's gonna be a team of like everyone's favorites.
Yeah,
There's gonna be blah blah blah. JJ's gone from EDG.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, I think all this can wait till after Worlds.
I think so. We can talk about it more after. Yeah,
Yeah, I just wanted to hammer down on those two. I guess JoJo and Labrov
yeah,
are the two big ones. But
for sure.
as of right now, not much else really going on, and hopefully it stays that way so we can all focus on Worlds.
Yeah, the roster moves can wait, man.
Yeah,
Give me some good Worlds games.
give me some BLG Weibo, or give me some Genji T1. Oh, Genji T1 is about as close as you can get to like our World Series right now, or like El Clasico.
Yeah,
You know, about as good of a rivalry matchup as you can get right there. At least on a
I'm hyped for some good league this
yeah,
weekend and next weekend.
yeah. It's
It's
gonna be
big.
unreal. Tonight we get to, well, I guess not really tonight. Tomorrow morning we get Weibo and BLG.
Yep.
So gonna be pretty exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm stoked. Should we call it there? You
I
got
think
anything else?
I got nothing else. I'm gonna be honest. I'm just ready to watch at this point.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. All right.
yeah. Thank you
Yeah.
for listening.
Yeah. Thank you all
Is it
for
obvious
being
that
here.
we haven't been doing too many podcasts with how seamless these transitions are?
Just super smooth.
Yeah.
Good old segues. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for listening to the pod. Episode 29. It's crazy how many episodes we've come along.
29?
29?
29? You haven't seen New
Apparently
Girl, so you
that's
don't
a
get
new
the
girl
reference.
reference. Yeah.
Yeah. Some people will get that. Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not me.
That's okay.
But follow us on all socials. Make sure to check out the pod. As always, all chats by the fans for the fans. And yeah.
We'll see you later.
We'll see you guys later. Comment down below who you guys got winning worlds.
Yep.
Yeah.
Peace.
Peace.